I hear a lot of people talking about Zillow buying houses and OpenDoor and Blackstone and people all freaking out on Twitter and everywhere else. Meanwhile, I don't really care.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
You see, when OpenDoor, Zillow, and any of the iBuyers out there start buying property, one thing they're doing, they're putting a lot of money behind their marketing campaigns, and they're putting a ton of influence and exposure in the market. They're actually helping to groom homeowners that there's a way besides listing their house that they can go ahead and get a cash offer. That's fantastic because it lets people know that what we do and how we're going to try and buy the property. You don't need an appraisal. You don't need to do any repairs. You don't need to do anything. Just give us a call, text me right now, and I'll give you an offer on your house. And at that point, you can decide whether you want to take it or not. That's it. You're done. Here's a number. Here's a check. Take the offer or not. That cuts a lot of the friction out in terms of being able to acquire properties and dispose them. Now, the difference between Zillow and what I do is I actually try to make money on the deals that we acquire. From what I'm seeing in Zillow, they're not really making any money on a deal. They're doing it in volume. I guess their investors don't need a big return. It's just an offshoot of what they do. But I'm going to dig into something today and show you exactly, specifically what Zillow is doing down here in South Florida. All the numbers are transparent, and you're going to be blown away. But first, let me show you this article that appeared in the Florida Realtors magazine. This article talked about the iBuyers bouncing back after a pandemic hiatus. And basically, it just goes over some of the things that for the last year they had pulled back, and now they're coming back into the market. And it's just very interesting here. They're talking about OpenDoor, OfferPad, and Zillow offers. They don't really say much about Blackstone. Blackstone must be hands off. You're not supposed to talk about Blackstone. But we all know what they're doing. And it says iBuyers pay aggressive prices. Part of the reason iBuyers are finding so many takers, they're paying a premium as if home sellers need any more good news in an era of super low inventory and record high prices. Super low inventory, record high prices, and sellers basically command the ball game at this point. The absorption rate is so low. We have limited inventory here in South Florida. Probably goes the same in your market if you're not here in South Florida. But I don't have a problem overbidding. I've never had a problem overbidding because what we do, our strategy is to buy a house, rent it out until we get our permits approved, tear it down, and build a new house. So buying a house in this market based on what the appraiser thinks is the comparable value, yeah, you're never going to make it. You're just going to waste your time printing out offers that will never be accepted. So yeah, there is a premium on paying over the list price. And it says here that the four major buyers, OpenDoor, yada, 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 make bids that average 104.1% of the market value. So they're overpaying by 4% or more on a property. Down here, I don't even think that's going to work. We're seeing things where you're going to need to pay 30% just to get a property. In fact, there was an article about that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Voila! Through the magic of editing, I was able to pull up this article, which is straight to the point. This article says that Zillow, and it's a Zillow study, that South Florida homes are selling for as much as 30% above list price, 30% more. And it goes down here, it says the inventory of homes for sale in the Tri-County region, that would be Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade, is near record lows. There's just no inventory to be had. You're going to have to create inventory. One of the reasons we got into the whole teardown business was because you have to recreate inventory. And people coming from other parts of the country, as I've said before, are willing to pay the premium price. We're all making offers above list price, 30% above list price. I've never gone that high, but I have seen some people do it. And here's a real kicker. As it says here, most banks require that homes pass an appraisal. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get an offer accepted here in South Florida if you put a contingency based upon it the property appraising or that a mortgage contingency. Not going to happen. Appraisal, don't worry about it. If a property is worth $700,000 and you want that house, you better come in 720, 730, maybe as high as 750. Doesn't matter what the appraisal is. Come in with more cash and equity up front. Get whatever mortgage you want on the back end, but nobody's going to accept an appraisal contingency on a house. So let's continue to look at this. Down here further, this is going to blow you away. Are you ready for this? For luxury homes, which is the market I cater to, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute, 74 homes. I hope you can see this. 74 homes sold for more than $500,000 over list price. Think about that again. 74 area homes here sold for over $500,000 above the list price. In addition to that, 20 homes sold for at least $1 million over the list price. So I hope you're understanding here what I'm saying. Forget it. If you're looking to get something, if you're doing the old style real estate investing where you're running comps to see what a house is worth, you're wasting your time. I mean, maybe if you're looking in the hood, maybe if you're looking at some crappy houses, but if you're looking at properties that people actually want to buy, that people actually want to live in, that aren't looking to live in the hood, yeah, you're going to have to up your game a lot. No bullshit. You're going to have to up your game a lot, which is why you see a lot of the flippers out there are selling courses now because they can't actually compete and sell houses. Why? Because some of these homes are going for as much as $1 million over the list price. And then it goes further here. It says, South Florida has more demand for homes than supply, resulting in buyers being willing to pay more. So you have to understand that. No one's twisting anybody's arms. You don't want it, don't take it. You have to be willing to pay more. You want this house? You want the house? You're going to pay more, period. I don't want to hear any contingencies. I don't want to hear about inspections. I don't want to hear about mortgage approvals. You want this house, but Barry, it's only worth $600. Okay, well, I got an offer for $650. You want it or not? Give me $660. That's what's happening down here. I swear that's what's happening down here. It doesn't matter what the so-called comparable value is. So we're back talking about iBuyers, and I'm going to jump into something here, and I just want to show you. So I posted something on Twitter a day or so ago. Yeah, that's me. That's my tweet. And it basically said, I don't know who needs to hear this. I'm not worried about Blackstone or Zillow offers or any of that stuff. And if you are, you shouldn't be in the residential single-family home market, period. That means you haven't done your homework. You don't know what's going on. So let me show you exactly what I mean right now. So right now I am on the Broward County Property Appraiser site. And when you go to the property appraiser site, I can come in here. I'm going to go backwards and show you. And you can go in here and just look up any property. So I'm going to look by owner name. And I'm just going to type in the word Zillow right here, and I'm going to search. And right here are all the properties currently that Zillow has purchased. And you can see there's a bunch of them. Actually, it says 74 records have been found. So right now, as of today, Zillow owns 74 properties. That means that they're aggressive in South Florida, but I'm going to tell you specifically why in the numbers, why they're not much competition to people like me. So I pulled a couple, actually the first 10. I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. And I'm going to go through the list here of some of these properties. And there's something very interesting. So the first property I pulled up was 2024 Maplewood Way in Coral Springs. Zillow purchased this house in May of 2021 for $357,000. Let me ask you a question. If you bought a house in May, which, just a couple months ago, for $357,000, and I'm sure you had closing costs going in, what would you need to sell that house for a profit? Think about it. What would you need to sell that house for a profit? Any of you who are in the real estate business and are acquisition and disposition specialists, you're going to be able to know what your closing costs are. You're going to be able to know what you're having into it for interest. Obviously, Zillow is buying cash with the amount of money they have. but you're going to have a bunch of cost into this deal. And then, so what would you want to sell it for? Well, if you're Zillow, then you're going to sell that house for $379. Doesn't make any sense, does it? If you paid $357 a couple months ago, and you're selling it for $379 today, you're not making any money. There's only a $20,000 spread there. I mean, after you pay the commission, I mean, 3%, let's just say it's 3% for math, that's going to be close to $11,000 in commission. $11,000 off of $380 or $379, and you're down to what? $367, $368? Yeah, $368. And you bought it for $357. That doesn't include your taxes, insurance, or carrying costs. That's really slim. But this seems to be their business model. Let's look at another one. So they bought this property, 12057. You can see this 12057, 56th Street in Coral Springs. They paid $394,000. Hope you guys can see that. $394,000 back in July. But it's on the market already. Quickly. What are they selling this one for? Remember, $394,000. This one's on the market for $405,000. Okay, so you take that 3% commission and you $12,000, and you take $12,000, you're at $388,000 before taxes, insurance, carrying costs, and everything else. And you realize this one, they're probably selling at a loss. Why? Why are these big giant iBuyers in here coming in, buying these houses, and potentially having such a slim margin? Let's look at another one. This one here is 10577 Northwest 56th Place. They purchased this one in July as well. They paid $368,000. What are they selling it for? Boom, $399,000. By this point, you can be doing the math. If you have had any experience in buying houses, at this point, you can actually do this yourself and realize, hey man, their closing costs, their taxes, their insurance, their carrying costs, repairs, they're not selling for any profit. I mean, what I went through here, I can go through 5 or 6 more, but I don't need to. Do you want me to? Okay, let's go to another one. So this one here is 8335 Northwest 52nd Place. They purchased this one. This is a good deal. They bought this one in May of 2021, and they bought it for $583,800. This one's actually pending. This one's actually pending at 605. Huge spread, huh? Nope, no spread. And I could go on and on and on. But I think what you're seeing is that Zillow is playing in a market where what I've been able to figure is that if they're okay with making 1.5% profit, maybe they can make some more if they did some stuff on the front end, if they pay themselves, if they're using their own title agents, if they're padding things here or there, legally padding things. I'm not accusing these guys of doing anything illegal. They're using the same realtor for all of these properties, so maybe they're not paying commission on the front end with her, and she just has a salary that she's drawing from Zillow to put up the listings. Who knows? But what I do know is that there's not a single investor who I've ever met in 25 years, none in 25 years, who would look at doing a deal for 1 to 2% profit. Now do you see why I'm not concerned with Zillow? Also, what you saw is that they're ceiling. It seems, I mean, I could go and show you some more, but they're not playing in that luxury market. They're not playing where people are actually swinging the big one and coming in and spending $700,000, $800,000, $900,000. They're below that, probably because the risk at that point, for in their mind, obviously not knowing what's going on in each specific market, they're going to get killed. They can't compete. Why would you be afraid of Blackstone? Why would you be afraid of Zillow? Why would you be afraid of a company that is buying a house for $275,000. I wouldn't even look at a house that costs $275,000. A house that's cost $275,000 isn't someplace my buyers want to live. But, you know, 275, this one here is in Margate. They're selling it for 297. So, I mean, you can do the math yourself. You're involved in this business. You're a professional. Do the math. If you're afraid of one of these big iBuyers coming in and battling you for a deal, you're not doing it right. You're completely missing the boat. Me, I'm not afraid of Zillow offers, not afraid of Blackstone, OpenDoor, none of them. They can't compete on a deal-by-deal basis in the market I choose to play in. So I guess what you have to determine is, will they affect what you're doing? What's your market like? Go ahead and start searching. Start looking at what they're doing. They don't know the market like you do. I mean, on this deal here, look, it's for sale, and they've already had to cut the price. See it up here? They've already had to cut the price. I'm not cutting any prices in this environment. Who's cutting prices in South Florida if you know what you're doing? So what this says is they overpaid. Then they overpriced the house. That's because it's in the northwest section of Margate for $275,000. I can tell you right now, there are very few people coming from New York, New Jersey, California, whatever, points north, that want to go schlepping out to the northwest side of town in Margate. Ain't gonna happen. Not talking bad about Margate. I've made some money in properties over there, but you have to know your market. These big iBuyers shouldn't be able to compete with you in your market. Just saying. I hope you're liking these videos. I hope it's informative. I hope I'm giving you some information on the South Florida market. And if you're a buyer or you're an investor, great. Send me a text. I'd love to work with you. If you're looking at investing, I can get you a great return. And I hope to see you guys again watching these videos. Tell me what you think. Are you afraid of an iBuyer? Talk to you soon.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.